Cristiano Awoniyi is set to be offered a contract extension. But is this the right decision? Welcome to your Forest News. Morning, good evening, or good night. Hope you guys are doing well. And welcome to your latest Forest News, contract transfer-ish news. If you're enjoying the content, please don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. And don't forget, if you want to support us in our growth, we have exclusive additional content over on our Patreon channel. So if you want to support us, it's £10 a month. You can also sign up for free and get involved in the posts and the conversations there. Either scan this QR code or click on the link that's pinned in the comments. Okay, let's get into the news. Now, it's the international break and things are definitely slowing down in the world of football and the stories that are coming out. And it's at this time of year you start to hear about transfer links, very loose ones, and about contract renewals. We brought you yesterday the talk about Aina and whether or not he may be leaving and going to Roma. If you haven't seen that video, you can check it out, obviously, at the end. And today's topic is Cristiano Awoniyi. His contract as well is set to run out at the end of this year. And just like Aina, in January, he will be available to speak to whomever he pleases to set up a new contract for next year. Now, at 32 years old, he is coming to the twilight of his career. And when he first joined Forest, as you guys know, I was his biggest critic. Under Cooper, he just looked like deadwood. He really did. But that deadwood emerged into firewood as soon as Nuno arrived, and we saw a goal-scoring machine born. Gone was Chris Wood, and appeared in his place Cristiano Awoniyi. But is he the final solution for Nottingham Forest? At 32 years old, with not the greatest injury track record. If you remember when he first came on loan to Forest, he played a few games and then was out for the rest of the season. But we had triggered that clause and had to pay Newcastle in total £19 million. But I look back at it now and I think under Cooper, it was the biggest waste of money I'd ever seen. Well, we've had a few bad ones, and let's not go over those. But you know what I'm saying. But under Nuno, I would say it's some of the best business we've done because you cannot argue on his goal return rates. He is, I think, the highest converting striker in the Premier League from chances created to goals scored. He is reborn under Nuno, and you have to give him his flowers where they are due. But is he the final solution? Look, this is my take on it. There's no talks on exactly how many years Forest are looking to offer because they are expected to offer him a contract. And I fully expect him to accept that contract, obviously, if the terms are agreeable to him. But what I'm saying is, I don't think he's looking for a move. But for me, we still need a striker. We need to look long term now. And I think bringing Chris Wood in on another year's contract would be really smart from Forest. Especially if we could get in a Omar Marmoush, maybe. I don't think we're going to get him now that he's gone red hot. But someone that's younger, that Chris Wood could, guide and pass his experience onto, I think would work nicely. What I'll say, though, is if we do extend Chris Wood's contract, the questions about Taiwo need to seriously be asked. And I've got a feeling we may see Taiwo moving either in January or in the summer. I feel like his heart's not in Forest anymore. From what I'm hearing, his heart's in America. He wants to start an academy. There's been rumors and talks about that. There's been links away last summer as well for him. But I don't know if Forest can even get what they paid for now with his injury track record. About 6 months ago, you probably would have said 30 million would have been easily acceptable for Taiwo. Not in this current market. But back to Chris Wood. I expect it to be a 1-year extension, and I think what the club will do as well is add a year's option, which can be triggered by them. And I think Chris Wood may consider that. Now, if you're Chris Wood, you want to extend the length of the contract for as long as possible to ensure, obviously, your future and your future earnings. So we may see something like a 2 or 3 year deal being offered, but maybe on reduced wages. Remember, Chris Wood is currently on about 90k a week. And I don't think Forest will be offering that much at his age. As I said, he's 32 now, moving on to 33. They can't afford for that kind of price to go down. So what could happen is that Forest say, look, Awoniyi, we know you're a goal scoring machine, but you're getting old, son. So potentially they may go like, let's do 50, 60K, but let's do a 2-year deal instead of a 1-year deal. That gives them the additional coverage, etc. And then what could happen after that year is that Forest end up deciding to sell him for a few million to, get some money back on the 19, etc. And maybe that works out well for everyone. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't mind him staying on for a year. But my big kind of caveat to this is I don't want him to be the future of Forest. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I'm looking at it objectively with his age and everything else. I want someone has to come in either January or in the summer transfer window who's going to take that mantle, who's going to be our number 9. We've all said it all summer, crying out for a number 9. Let's see how many more strikers are willing to reject us now that Forest are on an upward trajectory and not fighting a relegation battle as Jimenez feared as one of the reasons he didn't want to come to Forest. So that's the story on Chris Wood. Get your thoughts in down below. I want to know, would you extend his contract? If you don't want to, cool, let us know why. If you do, let me know how long of a contract you would offer him. Get your thoughts in down below. Okay, so following up from one of the stories yesterday on Aina and his contract, there are talks now that Forest are looking and set to sit down and talk with him in the next couple of weeks to talk about an extension to his contract. Now, it was interesting reading a lot of your comments yesterday. There were a few of you saying, but how do you know it's not Aina that doesn't want to sign a contract? Why are you saying it's Forest? Look, I have it on no authority at all, but what I can tell you is that Aina is extremely happy at Forest. I mean, you don't even need me to tell you that. Look at his relationship with the likes of Callum Hudson-Odoi, Elanga. Look at what Marinak has said about why they didn't want to sell Elanga to Newcastle in the summer, because they didn't want to disrupt that camaraderie between the boys. Specifically when you're talking about Elanga, we all know he's best mates with Aina and with Callum Hudson-Odoi. That's why I feel, personally, that it's from the club. And with these reports now coming out saying that the club are willing to sit down and talk, that tells you that I'm probably right on that. So, Aina is going to be good news. There was talks before anyway of an extension of a contract many moons ago about a 3 to 4 year deal, and they died down. I don't know what happened or why they broke down, but this is good news. We need to sign my boy up ASAP. So as that story develops, we will keep you posted. But obviously it's an international window, guys, so that's pretty much the news. There's no point in me waffling on if there's nothing else to talk about. So get your thoughts in on Aina and, of course, on Cristiano Awoniyi. If you haven't already, please don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed if you are new here and you want to stay on top of your Forest news. Hit that bell button so you don't miss a video. We'll see you on the next one. Come on, you Reds.